Good day, bikers. Jimmy here, just reminding you to stay tuned for a promo from the wonderful people over at Merely Roleplayers. I'm not going to lie. When the subject of a promo swap came up, I had been in a bit of a podcast funk and struggling to listen to anything. This team of actors from the Blackshaw Theatre Company did a fantastic job of reigniting my podcast flame. I binged season 2 and had a whole heap of fun. Each short season is a different game with a focus on storytelling and the added quirk of the players playing themselves in numerous different guises. Be sure to go and have a listen. Now, on with the show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 13 of Brits on Bikes. With me, at last, the gang's all here, is Eve.
Heya.
And Kat.
Hello.
Now, as of this recording, I can say that Kat and I have just finished a few days ago recording her solo session. How was it for you, Kat?
Interesting.
I'm definitely intrigued.
By the time you hear this episode anyway, everyone will have heard it. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what people's take is.
Well, this is the second episode since that, isn't it? Because that was 11. This is 13.
Oh, God. We're getting really ahead of ourselves. It's quite impressive. I've got so much editing to do. Okay, so just before we get in, we were just having a chat before we started recording about our Clubhouse building episode, which we're going to be publishing on Patreon very, very soon. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out and a few thanks to some lovely people who gave us some awesome suggestions, which are definitely going to go into my table of things that the group or the kids might possibly have for their clubhouse. So have you seen any of these, Kat?
Nope.
Okay, so
I don't do the Twitters.
Diane from Kids on Bikes has insisted that we use a toilet as a seat in the clubhouse, which is fine because her character Meg has like 35 bathrooms or something like that. So that would be fine. We can nick one of hers. Kristen Devine has suggested a small hammer, very practical, and an oversized cat tower. I'm assuming she means one of those scratching posts.
Yeah.
Because I initially thought it was like a tower of cats.
I think both should be an option in the table.
I think that's what Kristen said after I asked that question. Who else have we got? Okay, so writer of Kids on Bikes, Doug Lewandowski, he suggested old political lawn signs, a bearskin rug,
Yes.
which is quite apt given our last episode, Kat.
Yes.
And what else did he have? Parts of a doghouse that had a tree limb dropped on it. Nice.
Very specific.
Oh, you want specific? I can give you specific. How about this?
Yes.
James Anderson from Kids on Bikes as well. He has suggested the complete discography of Rod Stewart up to that point in a crate with a postcard from Sweden tucked into each record jacket.
Why does the guy have Swedish postcards in?
Well, there's a plot hook right there.
Yeah.
We could go all Nordic noir for an episode, couldn't we? You could all wear dodgy jumpers.
I'd have to learn a lot more about Sweden first.
You could be the girls with the corgi tattoo. Okay, so as we did the other week when we were recorded so many weeks ago, I'm going to ask you guys now, give me one other thing that you would like to include in a clubhouse.
A big box of various kinds of tape.
What, like sellotape?
Yeah, like duct tape and electrical tape and like packing tape. Just a ton of cake.
And what about you, Kat?
I think a size 13 men's shoe, but only the left one.
Size 13 men's shoe. There we go. Oh, I think it should have a dormouse living in it.
Maybe it does.
All right, okay. So I'll add those to the list and we'll record that at some point this week or next week. In a month, I don't know. All right, time is flying away fast. Yeah. Speaking of which, I should also say a huge, massive thank you to all our listeners, because as of, I think, about a week ago, we hit the magic 1,000 downloads. Ooh. Which is super duper awesome. So thank you for continuing to listen to our ramblings and our little adventure. All right then. So although it's probably just a couple of weeks for you guys, it's been ages for us since we last did a recording session. So would you like me to do the recap?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Okay, so it all kind of kicked off with you guys at school. You were just finishing up your history lesson and Mrs. Thistledown took you to one side and said that we all needed to be a bit more proactive in investigating Victor Wallace and the Elementa Tenebri ritual. She showed you a piece of parchment that she thinks were links to the air element of the ritual, which, how did it go? It's a breath of struggle, breath of strife, dying breath gives chaos life. And annotated underneath is the word Nephili. Mrs. Thistledown also told you about a series of unusual deaths that were going on over at Drewdrop Farm.
Oh God, I just remembered what happened.
Yep. So you guys headed off to the library first of all to research Nephili, and you learned that she was a cloud nymph. Is that right?
Yes. And that was pretty much all that we learned.
That was pretty much it. But you had a very sweet, tender moment, and Carl, the librarian, was sobbing quietly into his stamp. So you headed off to Drewdrop Farm, where you encountered Mrs. Stratemeyer, the farmer's wife, who indicated that some deaths had been going on, but it would be best for you to talk to her husband, Eli. You learned that some mice were the first things to go, followed by some ducks, I believe.
Yep.
And so you decided to wander over across the field to check out the sheep, at which point we saw this horrific sheep mutilation where a sheep was sucked into the air, it was whizzed around, all its innards were sucked out of its mouth, and then it just evaporated into pink mist, leaving just the kind of shriveled up husk of a sheep.
Blech.
On your way back from seeing this, whilst dodging poop, you hear a yell, and you see a man in the air and a familiar pink mist. And by the time you get to the farm, you can see that the farmhand you had met earlier was now lying on the ground, a shriveled husk.
Yep.
Rather than going through all the hysterics, I'm just going to fast forward us just maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes. Eli immediately went to call the police, then told you that you would have to stay there until the police arrived. So he's taken you into the kitchen where Mrs. Stratemeyer has made you a cup of coffee, and you are currently in the kitchen drinking, not coffee, cocoa. Sorry, you're kids, aren't you? So you're currently in the kitchen drinking cocoa. Anything you'd like to do?
Huh.
I think sob quietly.
Yeah, I think Dee's gonna look around, see if maybe there's some sort of clue in here as to what is going on, because I don't know. Maybe there's some history reason why stuff's going down here.
Make a brains roll for me.
Yep, that's the one.
Nothing's ringing any bells for you. All you can see is the kitchen. Mrs. Stratemeyer just kind of busying herself, doing her general chores. Sally's sobbing quietly.
It's what she does.
Is the phone open? Telephone.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, is it available? Is anybody using it?
You can't see a telephone.
Well, they called the cops.
Are you asking Miss Stratemeyer?
Yeah. Hey, could I possibly use your phone?
Oh, of course, you poor love. You must be ever so upset, and it's getting late. I suppose you'd be wanting to call your parentals.
No, like, hey, I should probably check in, just touch base. Hey, things going on. So
yeah, you don't need to make a charm roll for this. That's absolutely fine. So you head off. She gestures to the door that leads into the hallway. She says, "It's just on a stand by the stairs."
All right, yeah. When I go out there, I'm like just looking around, making sure nobody's listening, and I'm assuming Mr. Stradmeyer is outside.
Mr. Stratemeyer is outside talking to the police.
All right. So, yeah. Since nobody's around, I'm going to call up Erin, since I do have her number. I have the Civic Hall's number, yeah.
You give the Civic Hall a ring?
Mm-hmm.
It rings, and it just keeps ringing.
Seriously, don't even have like a freaking secretary or something?
It's about 6 o'clock. So chances are they've probably gone home or to wherever they're going.
This is why I'm always telling people, like, we need your actual numbers and a decent way to contact you, because it's kind of a big friggin' deal. And I don't have Thistle Down's number, do I?
No.
Damn. Well, crap. Okay. Yeah, I'm going back to Sally.
So you head back into Sally. Sally, is there anything you want to do?
I want to ask Dee, why did you want the phone?
I was trying to get a hold of Aaron. Like, this is kind of a thing where we might be needing, some heavy book club backup.
I left it at the clubhouse. We need to go to the clubhouse.
What's at the clubhouse?
A way of phoning them without a phone. She gave me a present. You'll like it.
Okay.
But we can't. I want my teddy bear.
Yeah, we'll get there. We got bigger fish to fry here. Okay. Where is Miss Stratemeyer?
She's still in the farm. She's in the kitchen.
Oh wait. Well, this has been fun and all, but I got a hold of my uncle, and yeah, he kind of really wants me home, away from the murder cloud.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
It is now.
Okay. She looks at you and says, "Oh yes, maybe I can hurry the officer along. Hang on a second." And she heads over to the stable door, the kitchen door, and just opens the top half and just leans out. And she says, Inspector, these children really must go." And two policemen walk on over and march into the kitchen. One is slightly older, with a rather severe look on his face. He introduces himself as Detective Inspector Barrowcliff. He introduces the police constable who you've seen around town. He's just an everyday bobby on the beat. His name is P.C. Anderson. He looks at the pair of you and says, "Oh, it's you two. Why do you always seem to be getting yourselves into bother? I remember you from the Civic Hall."
No, look, we're just here doing a little bit of research. Tornado comes up and eats a guy. We should get going, though.
Excuse me? He looks at PC Anderson and he says, "I need to finish up with Eli. Take their statements and make sure they don't leave until you have a full account of what happened."
Oh, jeez. Come on, man.
And before he leaves, he looks at the pair of you and he says, "I don't like the road that you are going down. If I see you any more, I shall be calling your parents." Do I make myself clear?
Yeah, all right. Good luck.
He marches out and PC Anderson sits down in as a friendlier way as possible. He's quite clearly the good cop here. And he says, "So, right, let's just take this from the beginning then. Can you tell us exactly what happened?"
Yeah, tornado ate a guy.
Well, I didn't actually see anyone and the tornado eat the guy. I only saw it eat the sheep.
Wait a minute. There was a sheep. Can you both make grit or brains rolls for me.
I rolled a 4.
That would be a 13.
So gritty.
Sally, you're trying to recount the events as they happened. Dee, you notice out of the corner of your eye, as you begin talking about a tornado eating a sheep, Mrs. Stratemeyer pauses just for a fraction of a second, as if she's listening in, and then continues clearing some dishes. Let me ask you again. So you're saying something about a sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was in the field at the back of the field. We were there and we saw a tornado eat the sheep, and then we were running back to the farmhouse, and then apparently the tornado also ate the guy. I can't remember what was his name.
Is it Jovac, or was that the cat?
No, that's the dog.
That was the dog. No, God, what was the farmhand's name?
Let's just call him the farmhand for now, because I can't remember either. Young lady, you do know we live in England, don't you?
Yeah.
England's not particularly well known for its tornadoes.
Yeah, look, I'm from the States, and, we get them out there. I ain't never seen one up in New York or nothing, but, it happens. And I can tell you one thing, they definitely don't come down all tiny, and eat one person and then go, all right, I'm good. Alright, so that's real weird, and we don't want to be here no more.
Can you both make charm rolls, please?
I'm great at those.
Oh dear.
Nope, I got
2.
a 3.
He looks at you and he says, look, you need to get your story straight, because the DI isn't going to accept this. Look, I don't want to have to cause any trouble for you, but if you're not honest with me, there's going to be problems.
We're telling the same story.
At which point, Mrs. Stratemeyer interjects, and she comes up behind the pair of you and puts her arm on your shoulders, and she says to the policeman, "Oh, listen, the poor dears, they've had such a stressful and difficult last few hours. This is probably just their way of coping with things. Why not just let them be?" The policeman makes a note and says, "Saw a sheep die. Came back and saw farmhand dead." And he looks at the pair of you and he says, "Look, just try and keep out of our way if you know what's good for you."
Why is everybody threatening us?
No, I'm not threatening you. I'm just saying, for your own good, try and keep a low profile. The last thing the police want is kids trying to solve crimes that we're responsible for. And when I say responsible, I don't mean that we committed them, that we're trying to solve them. He's got anxiety issues.
I don't know, it sounds like a threat, or the kind of thing that you start winking doing.
I want to go home now.
Yeah.
Would you like a lift home in the cop car?
Yeah, we've got our bikes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. I'll sling them in the boot.
All right.
Will they fit?
Yeah, it's an estate-style police car.
Oh, okay.
So you're going back with the policeman, are you?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So PC Anderson hops into his car after putting the bikes into the back and drops both of you off at your houses. By the time you're finished dealing with the police, it's about 9:30. So it's gotten pretty late. The PC was kind enough to explain the situation to your Uncle Tommy and to your parents as well, Sally. So what do you want to do?
Well, Dee would like to go get the thingamajig, whatever it is, to make our magic phone call. But I'm assuming Sally doesn't want to break out in the middle of the night.
No, Sally's tired and would like to sleep.
Yeah, Dee knows Sally enough to know that she isn't going anywhere, and since Dee doesn't know what the thing is or how it works, it really doesn't do much good. So, yeah, Dee's just like, alright, whatever, I'm going to bed.
I've lost all track of time. What day of the week is it?
I think it's Monday. Is it Monday?
It's Monday.
Oh, rubbish. Okay. I guess we've got to go back to school.
Because this is the Monday after your solos. So you guys go to bed and get up. Do you want to do anything before school? Do you want to go to school?
No, I do not want to go to school. But once again, I know Sally's in a rough spot, so not going to push it. And I do want to talk to Thistledown, so.
That's true. Yeah, never mind. Let's go. Let's just go to school. We'll meet up on the way and be all like, "Hey, it's school."
Yeah.
Other than your lessons, is there anything you want to do while you're at school?
Make vague plans to go after school to our clubhouse.
Absolutely. And like I said, I would like to talk to Thistledown if given the opportunity.
All right, you'd be able to see Mrs. Thistledown at lunchtime if you wanted.
Yeah.
I will come too.
Okay, so we get to lunchtime and you wander over to Mrs. Thistledown's classroom. She's sat in her chair at her desk. It looks like she's just doing some marking.
Knock, knock.
Ah, dear Sally. Do come in. What can I do for you?
Well, you know how we went over there to do a little snooping and such?
Ah, I see, yes. It might be a little bit more prudent if perhaps we have this conversation a little bit later. How would the two of you like to come back for a cup of tea?
All right.
Okay.
When?
We can do it after school sometime if you like.
What? Yeah, like we kind of got to talk about this today. It's kind of a problem, yeah.
Of course, we have to take action. Like I said yesterday, things are moving forward, and I've been doing some digging myself, but I don't want to say too much around here. So, shall I see you after school?
Yeah, sure, deal.
And she dismisses you and goes back to her marking.
Cool.
The bell goes at the end of your last lesson. Have you had a good day?
Dee's still been distracted.
Yeah, distracted and not very good at whatever the problems we have been faced with.
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah. And, trauma from watching a creature get turned inside out and made into mist. That's freaky.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, it wasn't turned inside out. It just had its insides out.
Well, that's splitting hairs, I think, at this point. Its insides became its outsides.
Okay, Dee, you said that you wanted to go to the clubhouse. Do you want to do that first, or would you like to go and see Miss Thistledown?
We did schedule a meeting, so we could do that afterwards, I suppose. Sally, what do you think? Do we need the thingamajig, or can that wait?
No, I think Miss Thistledown's got one.
Oh, okay. How come everybody else gets thingamajigs and I don't?
Well, there's one for you too. I just left him at the clubhouse because I didn't want to take him home.
I get a thing? Awesome.
Okay, I mean, to be honest, it makes sense because Mrs. Thistledown lives only like 30 seconds from the school. So you head on over to her house, you knock on the door, there's no answer.
Uh-oh.
I swear if she freaking got a, I'm gonna be so mad. Knock on the door some more.
Maybe she's still at school.
She's still at school. That's your best thought. She's probably still doing her marking.
What? Yeah. Don't tell us to come meet you after school and then not be here after school.
Well, you never specified a time, did you?
But she said after school. I asked when. She said after school. I'm like, I'm over here after school.
Go on, let's go back to the school and see if she's marking stuff still.
Is she gonna be like, oh, we can't do it here? Let's go get our remote thingy, magic beeper or whatever. And I don't know what a beeper is.
It's obviously a thing that beeps.
Yeah, let's go get those whatevers, the what's it, And
They're magic mirrors.
you got freaking magic mirrors?
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool. Okay, yeah, no, let's go get those. I want to see those.
Okay, I don't know how to use them. I haven't used them yet. I just took them to the clubhouse and put them because I thought they'd be safe there.
But yeah, no, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do some magical while we wait. Magical stuff. Words. I'm with a kid. I'm not talking to an adult. I cuss.
Okay, so you head off to the Elysium Junkyard and into your clubhouse. There's a little tinkle of a bell as you walk in.
Yay.
And Sally, where did you leave the mirrors?
I can't remember what is in here. I believe there was a crate of some kind, and I would have probably put him on top of there like it was a table.
Okay, yep. So Dee, you can see exactly what Sally's put down because the room itself is pretty much bare at the moment. It's a very ornate looking case, probably about the size of a placemat, maybe about the same thickness of like a bracelet box. It looks like an oversized bracelet box.
That thing?
Yeah, look. And I'll go over and open it and show off my new thing.
Okay, so inside you can see they're actually quite plain, very simple but highly polished round mirrors, probably no bigger than the palm of your hand.
They're like hand mirrors? Or just like little discs?
They're more like discs. They're not like kind of compact type mirrors. They're just, it's just a disc of polished glass.
Like I was like thinking in my head, like, you know, the type with like a little handle on it or something.
No, there's no handle at all.
Cool.
It's backed in a gold material, and so the only decoration on the mirror is just a slight lip of gold around the edge.
Oh, shiny. Do you pick one up? Just like looking at it.
You can see yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, I don't know how to work it, but supposedly we can use it to talk to people.
Yeah, Dee just gets real close and goes, hello?
I'm waiting for Sally to go hello back. It works.
Hi.
Okay, so let's just talk mechanics for a moment. So how these are going to work, you two can communicate with each other via those mirrors.
Sweet.
Right? But you're not going to be able to do it immediately. You're going to have to speak to Mrs. Thistledown or Erin to get some training on it. When it comes to actually using them, what I'm going to do is I will issue you 3 psychic energy points per session and refresh after each session, and you will need to spend those in order to use the mirrors. Is that cool?
Cool.
Yeah.
Just so that you know, although you probably have listened to Sally's episode by the time this goes out. So you can communicate with Sally.
Sick.
Erin has a mirror as well. And Erin alluded to Mrs. Thistledown having 1, possibly even 2 mirrors, one of which is the mirror in her living room.
Gotcha. So, wait. Erin teleported through one of the mirrors.
Give you an inch and you want a mile.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. Maybe that's like a fairy thing only. I don't know. I'm just saying. Dee's pretty good at putting 2 and 2 together. Might not know that it equals 4, but.
Okay, so what would you like to do now?
All right, well, I mean, let's really give, this is a bit of a wide, right? So, yeah, Thistledown should be home by now. So, yeah, let's go back over there and, bug her.
Yes, let's do that.
All right, so you cycle over to Mrs. Thistledown's. You pull up, you put your bikes outside, and you knock on the door, and she answers, and she's like, Dee, Sally, nice of you to stop in. Please come in. And she escorts you through to the sitting room that you're both familiar with by now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's bringing back some memories. Okay. So, we saw a murder cloud.
It was a murder tornado.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no, it killed the guy.
And sheep.
I heard about the death of the farmhand over at Drew Drop. I suspected that you may have been there. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have placed you in that sort of position.
But yeah, not without, like, freaking weapons or whatever to fight something like that.
I just never expected Victor to make a move, because rest assured it is Victor.
Yeah, I don't think stuff like that just kind of pops up out of freaking nowhere. Wait, do things pop up like that out of freaking nowhere? Because if so, the world is way more dangerous than I thought.
The world is a very dangerous place, D.
Like, yeah, no, I know it is, but I mean, like, freaking just murder tornadoes coming out and sucking your guts out whenever. Like, that's a whole different kind of danger than, like, oh yeah, no, this guy could just, like, walk up and shoot you.
Well, I'm afraid things could only get worse if Mr. Wallace has his way. Tell me, what did you find out about Nephili?
Just that it's a cloud spirit.
Yes, I found the same thing myself. She looks slightly troubled. Everything that I could dig up about Nephili that doesn't indicate any sort of malevolent behaviour. Tricks, maybe, but nothing as horrific as this.
Could it be a trick, then?
I'm pretty sure that won't no twig. I saw the sheep. It's empty.
But that means that it's horrible.
Yeah. This sucks, and I hate it.
We need to do some more digging, I think. I do have a job for the two of you, which you might be able to help with.
Okay.
What is it?
Whilst I was rooting around and looking for things, it occurred to me that the land where these events take place may be significant. The quarry, the well, the farm. Do you think you could head over to the Civic Hall, speak to Erin, see if she can get you into the land registry and records? We might be able to find some information.
Yeah.
Before we do, can you show me how this works?
Yeah, I want to know how this thing works.
Oh, you got yourself some scrying mirrors. Erin did tell me about that, Sally. Well done, by the way.
Thanks, I think. Because how does it work?
It's a simple matter of concentration. All you have to do is think about the person who has another mirror and just let your eyes relax, and eventually you should be able to attract their attention.
Dia's doing this right now for Sally. Just
Okay, I'm going to ask you to roll a d20 for me.
That's a 5.
You manage to keep hold of the mirror. Take an adversity token. You stare at the mirror, exerting an awful lot of energy.
Yeah, like clearly, like trying way too hard for something where you're just supposed to like ease yourself in.
Yeah. Sally, do you want to have a go?
Yeah, but I'm going to try it for Erin.
Oh, okay. Go on then.
Because she's not also in the room.
All right. So, can you roll a d20 for me, please?
I got a 17.
I'm afraid that won't do it at this stage. What you do see, however, is your mirror begins to grow cloudy. You're going to need some practice on this. It's going to take some time before you can communicate fully. But Mrs. Thistledown assures you that she can give you some tips and show you how best to practice when time allows. She clears her throat. Unfortunately, we haven't got time to concern ourselves with that now. I've just read this and I find it most distressing. She pops a newspaper in front of you and you can see, bold as brass, on the front page of the latest edition of the Marshhaven News is a picture of Victor Wallace.
Guy's getting around.
He has been pinpointed because he is the first person to purchase a unit at the soon-to-be opened Phoenix Plaza.
Telling you, Phoenix is a firebird.
My God, you're right.
You read through the story and you learn that thanks to an anonymous donor, Victor is now able to fulfill his dream and open up the Wallace School of Enlightenment, an institute dedicated to the development of personal growth and reaching potential. As you're scanning through the page, Miss Thistledown says, well, what do you think?
Doesn't sound good.
No, it don't.
Sounds like a cult. What do we know about cults?
The bad?
Sally, make a brains roll for me.
8.
I got 3.
Sally, the closest thing you know about cults is from watching sort of old movies with, robed figures. I mean, you would have, and I think you did in that earlier episode, make that connection between the robed figures on the beach and thinking that they were quite culty. So yeah, that's about all you know, a scary group of people in robes.
Yeah, cult bad and scary.
Okay. Mrs. Thistledown continues and says, I've heard from a couple of people already telling me that people are beginning to sign up to Victor's school. He's promising all sorts of things. This doesn't bode well. This doesn't bode well at all.
How do we stop him, though?
Okay, what would you like to do?
Let's
go to the Civic Hall to find the land registry records.
Step at a time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Before the heads out, turn back to Thistledown and be like, you try to find something to fight murder clouds with, because once again, I have a stick.
Trust me, Dee, we are doing everything we can to try and put an end to this. I have an idea. I think, based on your description, I think I may know someone who can help us. But it's going to take time. Just bear with me.
We don't have time!
Yeah, if I get murder clouded, I'm going to be real mad. Apparently, magic and stuff's real, so there's a good chance I could come back as, a ghost or something.
In the haunter.
All right, so you head over to the Civic Hall, and it seems like Mrs. Thistledown must have phoned through, because when you get to the front, Erin's already there and she's in full-on Erin mode. Oh, hello, children. Mrs. Thistledown said you might be coming along today. I hear you wanted to look at our records room. I think it's terribly commendable that you children are taking such an interest in the local civic community.
Yeah, no, we're having a blast.
I do like learning about the town's history.
Well, if you'd like to follow me, it's just down here. And she takes you off to the records room.
Cool.
What's in the records room?
Okay, she opens the door, she ushers you in, she closes the door, and she says,
Right, listen you lot. I've got bits and pieces that I've got to do. We're supposed to be moving the exhibition in a week's time, and I've still got some cataloguing to do, so I'm going to have to leave you to it. Everything you need should be over there. Just dig around, I'm sure you'll find something. I should warn you, though, that some of the records may have been damaged by the flood.
Super.
And she skips off.
Right. Wait. Sally, you look at the farm, alright?
Okay.
I am going to see about the Phoenix building, see if they got something going on there. Because I'm telling you, alright, and see, this is a fun fact that I know. A Phoenix is the Firebird, and I learned that from the car. Fun fact. So I'm thinking Phoenix building, fire guy, and there's gonna be fire stuff, and that's probably where I'm going to end up getting murdered. So
Please don't get murdered.
yeah, well, I don't think I told Sally. See, there's a bit of a problem in that I saw myself getting murdered there. And
What?
yeah, no, there's a big old sacrifice, and then a big giant monster came, which I can only assume is the Boggoth. But yeah, Victor stabbed me, and I died, and I don't know. I am thinking probably has something to do with that building, so I'm gonna look into it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be a vegan. I mean, this is... That was my vision. I was going to be a vegan protester. So, yeah, this is heavy.
Saw other things, but yeah, they just kind of get silent and like this far away look.
Okay. So you want to look up the Phoenix Plaza?
Yep.
Can you make a brains roll for me, please?
Oh boy. No, that's one. I don't think these dice are very good.
They clearly don't like you.
You begin to start shuffling around the boxes in no particular order.
All right, so I just rolled that dice 4 times, and it went 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's pretty impressive. Oh, by the way, take an adversity token. You just pulling at boxes and...
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Looking at paper, but not really reading it.
Yeah, no idea. Like, it is just numbers.
Sally, what do you want to look at?
I'm looking at... Well, I'm going to look for information about the farm or the well or the quarry, and whatever I come across first, I will dive into.
Okay, can you make a brains roll for me?
I will attempt to. That's a 7.
Can I toss an adversity token or a couple? Yeah,
Yep.
I'll toss 3 her way. And
We'll make it up to 10.
I'm just going to say D tosses a folder over their shoulder, just like, and it just so happens to be a pertinent one.
Amazing. So yeah, it not only does it land in front of you, Sally, it
just opens to a
up,
perfect page.
and there in front of you is information regarding the quarry. You dig through. There's not a huge amount, I have to say, because obviously it's not a functioning quarry. It's currently owned by a holding company.
What's the name of the holding company?
The name of the holding company is Rank and Co.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah, I just stole it from Robert Rankin.
Well, you don't know. There could have been a clue there.
Yeah, it's currently owned by Rank and Co, who are a holding company. Prior to its closure, it was owned by Swampskit Industries. You continue to read. Nothing seems particularly out of place. Do you want to... I'll tell you what, make another brains roll for me.
Okay.
And this will be added to your previous.
Brains. That's good, because that was a 4.
Okay, yeah, that'll do it. So you dig a little deeper and you manage to find some information regarding the buildings that were once there. You find out that much of the rock that was quarried was used to build some of the older buildings in town, and that the place also had a mason's yard that turned out graves and other stoneware. The buildings were demolished when the place closed some 40 years earlier.
Okay, I'm not sure what I can do with this information.
All information's good information.
That's true.
D, have you worked out a system yet?
Yes. It involves squinting at one paper for a very long time trying to figure out what it means.
Okay, make a brains roll for me.
Hey, that's a 4. That's another 4. Okay, that's a 1. So 9.
Okay, so you managed to find some information about the well. Again, there's not a huge amount to be learned. You can see that it's owned by the town council. You can also see that the well was lost for a long, long time, and it was only found after the war when road improvements were being placed. Marshhaven suffered a couple of bombings, nothing too major. But one of the things they had to rebuild was the roads, and when they dug the roads up to create the Franklin roundabout, they discovered this well, and they decided that they were going to erect a fountain on there to commemorate stuff.
How do you lose a well in the middle of town?
Out of character, it probably would have just been covered over, or, you know, when the things were being built and whatnot, and people weren't using that particular water source.
Yes, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so I'm failing to see how these two things are connected. Oh,
Would you like to make another roll for the Phoenix Plaza?
yeah. It's like that's the thing that Dee's really looking for right now.
Okay, go on then.
Yeah, that's 2. You know, we really need somebody that is like either brains or charm focused. Because like Sally's pretty smart. Good. You know, that's very useful. But we're a very investigative team.
Yeah, it's just the way it kind of works at the moment. I mean, will. You'll have some chance to punch things.
Oh no, trust me. I'm sure. Absolutely sure. But boy, we are not good at research.
No, you are not. But you'll get there. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Dee is still flailing through the land registry office. Kat, is there anything else? Sorry, Sally, is there anything else you would like to have a look at?
So I covered the quarry and the well.
Mm-hmm.
What about the farm? Did we cover the farm?
We haven't, no. Would you like to make a brains roll for me?
I would. I rolled a 4.
Okay.
I can't even spell the farm's name.
Would you like to spend any adversity tokens?
I'm going to just throw in everything I have and assume that means I passed.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Because then
fine.
I know that I have 0, and that's easy.
Okay. All right. No worries. So you go rifling through the papers and you come across some records for Dewdrop Farm. Again, they're just ordinary land registry papers. The only thing that you discover of interest is that Eli doesn't legally own the farm.
Ooh.
It's in his wife's name. And unfortunately, you try to dig back further, but you realise that the shelves where you got the files from, there was a huge chunk missing, which you
Flood
can
damage.
only assume have been taken away because they've been damaged in the flood.
What about marriage records? Could I find their marriage record and see if she has a familiar maiden name?
Make a brains roll again.
Find something, Sally?
That's a 1!
Oh.
No.
Never mind, I'm too stupid to know about marriage certificates.
Yes, you are. I mean, anyway, these are land registry records. You wouldn't find that kind of stuff.
Well, I figured the Civic Hall might also contain registered marriages and stuff, because it's the legal...
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't have that idea, so...
Yeah, because I'm too dumb. Everything's fine.
You're not dumb, Sally. You're the second smartest person I know.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to do in the land registry?
I think I'm only qualified to sit in the corner and drool slightly, so...
Stop being so hard on yourself.
I can't think of anything. Ooh.
Alright, so did you tell Dee about what you found about the farm?
I will tell Dee about all of the things that I found. Like
Not much, but that reminds me. She gave us a look when we mentioned the murder cloud to the cop.
a look.
Yeah, look. Why are you talking about the murder cloud look? At least that's how I perceived it.
That's fishy.
That is fishy, especially it's in...
God damn it! Sorry, I rolled another brains roll to try and make connections and I got a 2.
Don't do that. Just make connections and pretend like you're smarter than you actually are.
Dee, you've been told about the farm and about who legally owns it, and you've spoken about this funny look. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Right, so,
Look for marriage records.
who said that?
Make a brains roll, Dee.
Oh, boy. 4.
Oh my god.
4? Come on. I like physical dice now. 1. So that'll be a 13.
Okay, so you know somehow that these records are it's just land registry. You suspect you could potentially find marriage certificates in the Civic Hall, but something has occurred to you is that maybe you could find something out at the local newspaper office. You had a paper round for a short time back in the States, and you did, when you were interviewed, you were given a tour of the newspaper room, and you know that a lot of newspapers keep cutting archives, so you might be able to find out via the newspaper's archives.
Okay. Find out like marriage shit, stuff, things, words.
Yep. At this point, the door opens and Erin comes through the door.
Have you two finished yet? Because people are starting to ask questions.
Why do they care?
Look, this is my job, you know. I have to keep
a very straight face. She switches back into sensible Erin.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we have a lot to look at.
This is like a lot right now. You heard about the murder cloud, right?
Yes. I've heard all about it. I'm doing my best to try and come up with a solution. I take it you were looking into locations. Mm-hmm. That's what Mrs. Thistledown told me. Well, you might want to know that they are all around the ley lines of Marsh Haven.
There's ley lines? Is there a map of the ley lines?
Oh, you don't need a map.
What do you need?
All you need to do is follow the Marsh King.
You're the Marsh King.
I know, right?
We can't follow you because you're in here, dummy.
Sally doesn't like Erin anymore, just for the record.
Oh, I rolled a 1. She says to you, as part of my tenure, shall we call it, in Marsh Haven, I have to do a small task. I must walk the ley lines every day to ensure that certain protections remain in place.
Is this protection for the same thing that Nettles is the guardian of?
Nettles does his own thing. I know very little of the Guardian's business.
So have the protections been like failing?
No, the problem is that the troubles are coming from within.
Okay. Is the Phoenix place on one?
I think you know the answer to that, don't you, Dee?
Called it. I knew it. I'm telling you. That's where the fire stuff's going to happen. So we got.
I'm going to ask you right here, right now, to make sure that you keep away from the Phoenix Plaza. I have plans in place. Please don't disrupt them.
Wait, you know what? Everybody keeps saying that they got plans and stuff, but I don't see anything happening. Instead, I see me dying in, I don't know, at the way everything's going, a week. So, like, I would really rather make sure that we get this stuff sorted out.
You need to do as Mrs. Thistledown tells you.
Well, we did that, and then, like, the freaking thing was going around flooding the place. We're the ones that, like, we put a stop to that.
Just do what you've been asked and report back to Mrs. Thistledown. She'll give you all the help that you need.
You could at least tell me what your plan is.
All the pieces are not in place yet. We don't know everything. We've got to pool our resources and see what we can do.
Yeah, okay, so what are your resources?
Well, for as much as we know at the moment is that all the sites of the parts of the ritual are on ley lines. We know, or we are fairly certain, that the air element ritual has not been completed. And we know that the fire element ritual has not been started. So we still have time.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's good. It hasn't been See, we didn't even know that it hadn't been completed. Y'all got to talk to us.
Well, just make sure that you ask, dimwit.
Well, I tried. Everybody's just like, well, you know, we'll tell you later. It's not what we use the putting it.
Look, we've no time to discuss this at the moment. That's
what everybody's always saying. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm assuming you found some important information.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, what's her face, Mrs. Storm, what was her name?
Statemeyer.
Miss Statemeyer. I'm pretty sure she has something to do with it. She's acting real weird, and she owns the property, and she gave me like a weird look. So we're gonna go look into like some marriage stuff over at the newspaper place.
Okay, well, get yourselves out of here. I've got work to do. Come on.
Yeah, so do we. Come on, Sally, let's roll.
Okay. Bye.
So you hop on your bikes, mission music starts playing, and you head off to the newspaper office, which is only about 5 minutes away from the Civic Hall. You get there, it's a smallish building. It's not like an office, it's more like two old houses knocked through. There's a front door with a brass plaque on the side that just says Marshhaven News.
Just knock, knock, knock. Walk right in.
So you walk into the newspaper office. Inside is very quiet. It's an open plan of 6 tables. You recognise one person there who is the cameraman who took your picture. He seems to be looking at contact sheets of pictures that he's taken. There's an office towards the back with the door closed and frosted windows. And there's a reception desk right in front of you. As you step up to the reception desk, you see a note that just says, back in 10 minutes.
Excellent. Let's sneak in.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, Dee just starts walking back towards the back to look for these records.
As you start to walk past the counter, a young man in his early 20s bounces up and says, "Oh, sorry, you can't be here. Can I help with anything at all?"
Yeah, no, like, we're just, doing, good things. Looking at, marriage records, so we're just gonna do that. He just keeps trying to walk.
It's not really open to the public. I can't just let anybody in willy-nilly.
Why not?
Well, I can't give those kind of permissions. It's way above my pay grade.
Okay.
What is your pay grade?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name's Baskerville, Skip Baskerville.
That's a really good name.
Yeah, he's named after a font. Yes, I'm a reporter, junior, for the Marshhaven News.
Oh, wait, so then you heard about them murders up in the Stratemeyer place, right?
Oh, you mean the man who died? Yes, there was some news about that.
Right, well, let me let you in on a little secret. I'm pretty sure it's a murder.
How would you know that? I spoke to the police myself. They told me that the man collapsed in rather strange circumstances.
I was there.
The moment you say that, he pulls a pencil from behind his ear and pulls out...
Off the record.
Well, look, if you're just going to come in here and declare that somebody was murdered, I can't take your word for it, can I?
We were looking for evidence.
You're not going to find it here, and I can't give you the permission to just go swanning off and looking at our records.
If you're coming with us, then we're just following you as you look into the records.
Let me see what I can do. Just wait here a moment.
Right.
He walks into the office with the frosted windows, and you can hear muffled conversation, and you can hear a low, gruff voice responding. You can't hear any particular words, but you can hear that the man sounds quite grumpy and angry, as only editors can be. Skip comes back out. Let's see how lucky you are today. Holy...
Super lucky.
He comes out looking a little bit shaky and a little bit pale, and he says, "Look, I can let you in, but only for 5 minutes. But you're going to have to owe me. So what is it that you know?"
Well, alright, this is going to blow your mind, alright? We're thinking somebody used a vacuum on the guy, sucked his guts clean out.
I think you've been watching far too many films.
Dude was hollow. I'm telling you. You go over to the friggin' morgue. Check him out. I'm telling you.
Yeah, all of his organs got sucked out.
All gone.
He starts making notes and he says, well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have a look. But if you're wasting my time, I'm going to be jolly angry.
Cross my heart and swear to whatever. Trust me.
Look, just follow me and we'll see if we can find whatever it is you're looking for.
Yeah, we're looking up the Stratemeyer.
So you walk through the newspaper office. As you go past the door, you can see that there's a name printed across it. The name of the editor is Jim Bradley.
I'm not going to remember any of these.
Yeah, I named him after the editor of the Washington Post in the 70s.
No relation.
I love names. I just can't remember them, that's all. He takes you to a door on the side and through into a room. It's about 6 foot wide and about 30 foot long. And there are a load of large storage bays down the sides of the walls. They're not completely, but starting to fill up these shelves with various file boxes. You can see that the boxes all have years on them. And Skip turns to you and he says, we don't really come in here too often except just to put the clippings in. You've got on this side, and he gestures to the left, you have news and features. And on the other side, you have announcements.
We want announcements.
Yeah.
You head on over to the announcements bay. What year are you looking for?
Oh, no.
We don't know.
We're looking for the freaking Stratemeyer. You know anything about them?
I'm afraid not, no.
Oh, wait. When we were at the land registry, were there any dates of purchase on the stuff?
Yeah.
Make a brains roll for me.
I got 2.
Well, I rolled a 3, so I am an
You
idiot.
burnt through all your good rolls.
You don't know. You're not sure.
Damn.
How old did they look?
They look like they were probably in their early 50s.
Oh, good grief.
Let's go like 25 years ago.
Well, that's still like a ridiculous amount. We're going to have to get really lucky. Yeah, I turn to Skip. Like, Skip, old bloody old pal. Alright, so you don't know nothing about these folks, the property, nothing?
No, I'm afraid not. I've not been working here very long.
You said you talked to the cops, though, right?
Yes, but only about the dead man.
Dang. Something like maybe got the statement, has some info on him or something.
Well, you said we're like 30 seconds from the Civic Hall. Why don't we just go back there and find the damn file?
Apparently we only got 5 minutes. And there was a 5-minute wide. So he's just gonna grab a box from somewhere between 25 and 30 years ago and hope for the best.
Sally's gonna grab the one next to it.
I'm gonna say 1946. Dude would be if that dude was in the war, he'd be getting back and like hooking up with his high school sweetheart. Bang bang boom.
So 1946 you want to have a look at.
1946.
Sally, what year would you like to look at?
I was just gonna pick the next box, so presumably 47 or 45. 46. No, sorry, 47.
47, okay. You take a box each and you open them up. Inside are rows of manila folders, and as you start to open them you realize that the filing stopped with the years, so they're in no particular order. There's ones from December at the front, there's bits of September towards the back, there's April before.
It's freaking terrible. How do you guys find anything?
Well, we don't have a lot of cause to look, really, Skip says to you.
Well, alright, that's just bad reporting, okay? You never know when you're gonna need an old story. See, that's a tip from me to you there, buddy.
So while I'm looking, I'm going to be putting this stuff in order. I'm going to file it by month.
So you're searching through these boxes. D, can I ask you to roll a brains?
Oh. Why are you so cruel to me, Jimmy? I got a 1.
This time I'm going to give you 3 rounds, okay? So a 1 won't cut it, so I'm afraid you don't find anything straight away. You're going to have to do a little bit more searching. Sally?
5.
Okay, that will do it. Can you now roll a d8 for me, please?
8.
Oh, yes.
6. 14.
Nice.
It doesn't need to explode.
Oh, okay.
You find an article about the opening of Anna Kingsford Comprehensive
Oh.
that piques your interest. Nothing untoward. It's just the association with the school. You find yourself lost reading that for a few minutes. Okay, so that's 1. D, your next go. Roll brains for me.
I'm assuming this involves us switching boxes and such, or
You can change boxes if you wish.
well, let's go with this. Have I gone through this box, flipped through it, and just not seen anything that caught my interest?
You've not seen anything in this box, no.
All right, going to 48.
You head to 48 and you scroll through.
That's another 1.
No, I'm afraid you don't see anything at all.
I'm not good at this. This is not my forte.
Sally?
8.
8, and can you roll a d8 for me, please?
Crushing it.
2.
You find a birth announcement.
Oh, who's?
Well, it just rings some bells with you. It's a small announcement, and there is a little picture as well. It's an announcement of a birth. Martha and James Higgins announce the birth of their daughter, Claudia. And in the picture, you can see her sibling brother, Thomas Higgins.
I feel like I'm supposed to remember who Thomas Higgins is, but I don't.
Make a brains roll.
I'm pretty sure she would know who Thomas Higgins is.
Make a brains roll.
1. Oh, wait, is it Uncle Tommy?
Yeah, it is Uncle Tommy.
Right.
You don't get the connection because you're so used to him being known as Uncle Tommy.
And I rolled a 1, and therefore I'm just drooling in the corner again.
Yep, you take a glance at it. The smidging of an idea crashes through your mind and crashes out really, really fast, and you put the announcement down. To be lost forever.
That's a damn shame. Just to tell you what that was Dee's mom.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Oh, how the dice roll. Never mind. Okay, so Dee, could you make your final roll for me, please? What year are you going for?
49.
49, okay.
How many? Have I been getting adversity tokens for these?
For these fails, yeah.
All right. So I've got 6 adversity tokens.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm going to put all of them into it. So 8.
Okay. Can you roll a d8 for me?
What am I doing? I've got physical dice. I don't need to type it in. Where is my d8? There it is. That's 7.
You are distracted by an article all about Plimpton's Biscuit Factory receiving their royal charter for their Royal Dunker biscuit.
What's a royal charter?
You know how sometimes you see, I don't know if you have, there's little signs on the backs of some packets in the UK that say by royal appointment and the crest?
Yeah, no, I've never seen that.
Basically, it's anything that the Queen uses that they apply for a charter mark, and they can say, as used by the Queen. Everything and anything could potentially apply for a charter.
All right. I don't know what this means. I do like them cookies.
That's a 6, but I have adversity tokens, so I want to turn it into a 7.
D8.
Uh-huh.
What year are you looking at, by the way?
I'm still in 47.
You're staying with 47. Okay.
Yeah, why not? 8.
Damn you. Okay. So,
Unless you would like me to switch to a different year, and if that would make life easier for you.
No, that's fine.
But I'm spending a long time because I'm organising it all, so I have to be in the same box.
You're thumbing through and you've been, looking at all the announcements as you go through, scanning across, see if you can see any familiar names. Statomyra is not a common name around here. So when you do see it, it pops. And you find a marriage announcement.
Yay!
That Eli Statomyra on the 7th of June, 1947, married one Dorothy Wallace.
Ah! Yes!
Dun, dun, dun.
Them's the biscuits.
Is that a good place to leave it?
I think that's a great place to leave it.
I mean, we can keep going. I've got more, but it's up to you.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty good cliffhanger right there.
I think it's a good reveal to be like dun dun dun.
I was literally just thinking. I bet it's his sister. I bet it's his sister.
You guys have done well tonight. That was a very, very research-heavy episode. I do love investigating.
Well, now I gotta go beat up an old lady, so very exciting.
So that's it for episode 13. Thank you once again for listening to our little podcast. If you haven't already done so, you can follow us at Brits_bikes on Twitter. Or if you really want to, you can subscribe to our Patreon, where you will hear lots of fabulous bonus content once we make it. There's a few bits on there already, but we've been a bit slack recently. But we're going to get back on it.
Yeah,
we are.
Including our Clubhouse episode, which I keep going on about.
Which honestly, they'll probably be released before this episode comes out.
Fingers crossed, yeah. If I got time, I've got such a backlog of editing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we'll leave it there tonight. So can we say a quick goodbye to Eve?
Bye, and such.
Goodbye from Kat.
Bye.
And goodbye from me, Jimmy. See you real soon and keep on biking. Bye-bye.
Bye. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Life's a game.
The world's a stage.
And we are all merely role players. Join members of Blackshaw Theatre Company as they try on all the many roles there are to play.
You are Blackshaw Theatre. Nobody else knows. You're also investigators of inexplicable happenings.
Deputies of federal law enforcement.
Master thieves and con artists.
Hooray!
Merely role players, where theatrical people play role-playing games. New episodes every week, new stories in new genres every season. Just search for Merely Role Players wherever you find podcasts.